If you want to be more efficient and effective while running your business with more inner peace, then working on the core of your issues instead of putting on a band-aid is vital. Welcome to the Business Brain Podcast.
I'm your host, Esty Rapport, and here to help you improve your 28 cognitive functions, the 28 things that make up thinking. In each episode, we'll discuss a real-life challenge, why you might be struggling with it, and give you practical strategies so all areas of your life will improve.
If you struggle with time, being on time, planning your time, recognizing how much time a task will take you, you may be struggling with time blindness. Guess what? Despite common belief, you can actually remove time blindness. That's what's coming up next on the Business Brain Podcast, episode 433. But first, are you an entrepreneur with ADHD? Would you like to learn how to leverage your superpowers and optimize your ADHD so running your business is easier? If you said yes, I'd love to see you part of our next cohort. Learn more and apply at LifePixUniversity.com/yourbrainrewired. That's LifePix, P-I-X, university.com/yourbrainrewired. For today's real life challenge, imagine you've been told you struggle with time blindness. You've got to be kind to yourself and accept the fact that that will always be a challenge for you. If you struggle with time blindness, you've got a cognitive function of understanding time. Yup, out of the 28 thinking skills, understanding time is one of them. And because it's a skill, you can learn it. So if you struggle with time blindness, it simply means you haven't yet developed the skill of understanding time, but you could learn it. Yeah. Even if you've got ADHD. Understanding time is a broad thinking skill that covers anything having to do with time. How long a task takes, how much time you need before you leave, and whether or not you have enough time to do all the tasks on your to-do list. All that and more is related to this thinking skill of understanding time. Time is one of the most abstract concepts for your brain to understand. So learning to understand time will take time. I'm sorry, I don't have a magic pill to make it all go away, but I do have hope that I can give you lots of it. Now, here are 4 ways to help you improve that thinking skill of understanding time and remove time blindness. Number 1, have a big monthly calendar hanging up in a space you see often. Write down any important dates, appointments, meetings, etc. This will help your brain to start comprehending time on a bigger time horizon. Today we will have a doctor's appointment. Tomorrow it's a lawyer's meeting. And next week it's the dentist. By writing it out and putting it in a place you see often, your brain will calm down. Instead of getting focused, you might miss it. And you will be able to see what needs to happen each day. Better yet, if you can hang more than 1 month at a time, so you'll be improving your brain's ability of understanding time on an even longer time horizon. So start with 1 month, and if you feel you can add another, do so, and see if you can build up to 6 months ahead. Number 2, often people with ADHD struggle to estimate how long a task takes. You probably find yourself dreading tasks because you will think it will take ages to do, only once you find yourself doing it, it actually takes minutes, and vice versa. Maybe you think a task will take really fast and it actually takes a while. For a week, time all the tasks you do often: shower, makeup, prep dinner, answer emails, anything that you do often, and take an average on how long that task actually takes. This will give you a really good understanding of time. Number 3, another thing people with ADHD often struggle with is leaving a task to the last minute. Coming from the same place, they think they have tons of time and then they don't leave enough time to be able to finish a task, or even maybe there isn't enough hours, but then there are other things that come up and they just don't end up being able to do it. If you see yourself struggling with this, take your big task and break it into smaller tasks with smaller deadlines. So instead of having one deadline in 2 weeks for this whole thing, you have one deadline in 48 hours, another deadline 24 hours later, another deadline 48 hours later, with different parts of the tasks that need to be ready at different times. As you see yourself being able to meet those deadlines more often, and it's being easier for you to meet those deadlines, then you can start challenging yourself. What if I don't give myself a 48-hour deadline, but I give myself a 72-hour deadline with a little bit more of the task, not the whole task yet, but a little bit more of a task. Then eventually you'll build up until just having that 2-week deadline for this big task. Number 4, watch the words you use. So often I hear people with ADHD say, I'm sorry, I'm time blind, or I may run over time because I'm time blind. This is one of the worst things you can do for your time blindness because you are labeling yourself as time blind and your brain will look for ways to keep you time blind. A much better version of this would be to say is, I'm working better at understanding time. It's a small shift that allows your brain to look for new ways to understand time and for you to still to explain to people that you're not perfect at time. One last thing that won't specifically help you remove time blindness, but will most definitely help you during this process. And that is right before you have a meeting or an appointment, don't do just one last thing. Often, when you're about to run out the door and throw in a load of laundry, that is the thing that makes us late. In episode 433, we spoke about removing time blindness. Even if you have ADHD, it's going to take time, but it is possible. Yes, there is hope. Your challenge this week is to choose one of the 4 strategies we spoke about and begin implementing it immediately. Either hang up a big monthly calendar and put all your events on there. Number 2, time the tasks you do often. Number 3, make smaller deadlines for your big projects and grow them as you get better at it. And number 4, watch the language you use around time blindness. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
That's all for this episode of the Business Brain Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please share it with 2 of your business friends so they too can gain from it, and you'll be helping us reach our goal of 1 million downloads by the end of 2025. Cheers to peak brain performance.